another story time about this man who tried to kidnap me, literally. Girl, you know my life is crazy. You know it's crazy and you came for the mess, okay? So here it is. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory so that you know what's going on. Growing up, every summer, my sister and I would sell the products that my granddaddy would grow. So my granddad owns several businesses, but for a hobby, he likes to grow shit. So he grows like fruits and stuff. So every summer, my sister and I would sell whatever products he grew. This was like so cool to us. We are such nerds. Like, we loved growing up to play store and things like that. So that was like playing store, except you have real people, you're dealing with real customers, and you have real products to sell. So it's pretty much like we had a business. And y'all know I'm an entrepreneur, so I ate that shit up every summer. I ate that up, honey. I used to love it. We loved doing that. We were never scared or anything crazy like that because we were down the street from my great grandma's house, and it's a very small place. So every 2 seconds we got somebody passing by, keeping an eye on us, blowing the horn to make sure we saw them. Like, they was keeping an eye on us. Not to mention, my sister and I are 7 years apart. So if I'm 12 at the time, my sister is 19. So we in our heads, we were straight. We're good. We were never dumb and naive like this guy tried to play me like I was. The small town that we was in between two larger cities, which meant we got a lot of traffic that was going back and forth and in between either of those two places. It wasn't out of the norm for us to get people in semi trucks, like truck drivers, all type of people stopping to patronize us. So literally one day we see this semi truck like coming to a pretty much screeching halt. So it was kind of like he saw something that interested him at the last minute, so he stopped at the last minute. We wasn't really thinking too much of it, you know, maybe he just saw us kind of late. This man gets down from his semi truck, and off the bat, he's giving sketch vibes. Like, he's giving some little sketchy vibes. He is an older, very, very, very thin, skinny Caucasian male. But you can tell, like, he's a lot older, at least like 65. You know what I mean? So he comes down out of his truck, and we're giving him our little spiel that we give everybody that stops. So pretty much telling him what we have and how much it is and all this type of stuff, you know, just basic stuff, selling the products. So we can tell, like, initially, he doesn't waste any time in taking a particular interest in me. Like, my sister is also there, but he's just like asking me questions and being a little fucking weirdo.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's weird.
So I'm looking at this man like, do you want something or not? Because that's not, you know, why are you asking me shit like what grade am I in and that type of thing, okay? Because I don't have to know you. I just need to know whether or not you're going to patronize. If not, you can get back in your truck and hit the road, okay? Because this is not that type of party. Y'all, this man starts talking about himself totally unprovoked. So he's talking about how he drives trucks and how long he's been doing it. And I'm just standing there like, okay, all right. Like, I don't get why I need to know that, but okay, thanks. But no thanks. So he keeps going. And at a certain point, I'm feeling like this man is trying to like talk and distract me and ease his way closer and closer into my personal space.
You can back up a little bit. Oh, wow.
So every time he would say something and like make a little stupid joke and try to walk closer to me, I'm like, yeah, and like back up from him in the opposite direction, you know? Because again, we're attentive. We're not dumb and naive like he thought that we was. So my sister is looking like a little weird. Like, why he keep asking Kay like about school and stuff when she just said that she was 12? Like, why is this man acting like he's so intrigued with a fucking 12-year-old, you know? So I'm like, okay, let me just be a little bit more attentive, put my antennas on, because this man is on some other stuff. So he progresses to the point where he's talking about all of these girls that he takes care of. And I'm just like, okay, Mr. Wife Beater, not out here right now. Not out here under this hot ass sun. Are you gonna try to tell me that you take care of multiple bitches and shit? Like, you literally have on a wife beater, some baller shorts, and some Crocs.
No. I said no. You can kill all that right now. Like at this moment, stop.
I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. Like, why are you telling me that and you dress like you don't even care about yourself? Like, are you serious? At 12, y'all, I'm like, this man is full of shit. He's a weirdo. So, literally, he just keeps talking. Then he pulls out his phone to show me one of the girls that he has in some other city. Y'all, he shows me this picture of a girl who is clearly underage. Like, I'm not talking about no 16, 17. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a 12 or 13-year-old, at the very, very most 14. So I'm like, oh my God. So my sister is on the other side, so she doesn't see his phone. I'm standing from a distance looking at the phone, looking at this little girl with a fucking side ponytail. Like, that's just to say how young she was. A side ponytail, a side pony. And she's looking up at the camera like you can tell that she's young. So I'm like, oh my God, is he serious? So now I'm like cutting him off, and I'm like being a little bit more rude because you just showed me that my suspicions were correct. You are I can't say it, but you know what he is, liking underage little girls. So he's literally to the point where he's seeing that he's putting me off. So he's trying to make little stupid jokes and stuff, like he thinks that a kid would be disarmed by it. But little did he know, I was not a regular 12-year-old. Like, I was very smart. I'm like, yeah, you think you got you one, buddy, and you don't. And you don't. He finally gets to the point where he buys something from us, and he buys multiple things. Now, let me tell you how he tried to like plot and scheme to get me in his truck. He buys multiple things, and now he's acting like all of a sudden he needs help. So I'm like, even if you do need help, I'm a 12-year-old girl, and you're a beyond old ass man. So like, why would you solicit help from me? Anyway, what can I help you carry? What am I about to help you carry?
Okay.
Come on now. So he gets to the point where he's making these trips. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna make them trips because I'm not helping you. Then he says, well, if you get that and I get this, we can make it one last trip. I'm like, what's the difference between 1 and 2? You know, I'm thinking in my head, if you can make one last trip, you can make 2 of them. So what is really, come on now, I'm not dumb. But then I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, but what if he gets back out and then he tries to talk to us like further? Let me just go ahead and take the stuff to his truck door, hand it to him so he can just go. That's how I'm thinking. So I get the last thing and then I follow him. He gets up in his truck. I'm standing from a distance, like ready to just hand him the stuff and quickly step back so that I can go back to my sister. Shout out to my sister, the one and only. She's my one and only sibling. She was watching the whole time. Now she's back far enough where it doesn't seem like she's hovering, but she is close enough where she could just run and like rescue me if need be. Shout out to the girl. So literally, this man is up in his truck. I'm waiting on him to turn around and get the shit from me. He is telling me how cool the inside of his truck is. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. I'm like, this is his final attempt to get me up there. He's like, yeah, I sleep in this truck. I eat in this truck. You want to see where I sleep? You don't want to see where I sleep? I'm like, no. So at this point, I'm really like being very rude. I'm like, I'm about to put your shit on the ground out here because I'm not getting up in your truck. For what? He keeps trying to like lure me up in his truck. So my sister sees that we're having like an exchange, and she's wondering why the hell he just won't get the stuff. So I'm guessing my sister is peeping that he think that I'm finna get up in the truck and like either stand on the little 2 steps to hand the stuff to him or like actually get up in his truck. So my sister's like, you know, I know she knew that I was not gonna do that. I know that she knew that. But she starts calling me to like really put him on alert. So she's like, Kay. So I'm like looking in between. So he literally, y'all, he hears my sister calling me. He gets the stuff from me, slams his door, and pulls off like as fast as a semi truck will pull off. You know, them bitches slow, but like you can tell when somebody is really hitting it in a semi truck. You know what I mean? That's what he does. And I guess my sister scared him or whatever. So I told my sister, because she wasn't close enough to hear what he was saying up in his truck. So I was telling her, like, he just tried to get me up in his truck. He literally tried to get me to get up there to see his bed and stuff. And my sister was like, oh my God, he tried to kidnap you. My sister loses her shit. Now, let me tell you how we thought we were smart. So, like I said, we liked to do this. Like, we like to have our own little business or whatever. And we knew, like, if we told my granddaddy off the bat, he was going to lose his mind. Like, we didn't know if he was going to be like, oh, we can't be out there by ourselves. Like, all type of stuff. So we're thinking ahead. We only told my mom like parts of the story, but we didn't tell my granddad. We didn't tell the whole story until like years later. Because we thought we was, you know, we wanted to have our little business. And we were smart enough, obviously, to prevent stupid shit from happening. You know what I mean? That could have went real wrong. But literally. So we continue to be out there every summer. We only had like a few more summers really after that. Because like I said, my sister was 19. So we only had like a few more summers after that. And yeah, I still like, after I just think about how wrong that could have went and how crazy and bizarre that shit was. But only Kay. My life is crazy, and again, you came for the mess. You came for it. It's crazy over here. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.